Hello, welcome to Yuki TV with me and a cat crying outside. Xenon's view. Again, like you asked, something, the most simplest thing that I can show you then. So, I just created a new scene, new, general, whatever. So I made this new scene. So there's already a cube in the scene, so I don't have to do anything. And now I'm going to do a fun thing. I'm going to go up here and show you this button, and once again, this one. You were in this one in the last video I saw you, which this is kind of like a default Blender example of what it would look like if it had HDR. And I noticed that you put this on a lot. Don't look at that. Never look at this one. Look at this one, please. Please. Okay, this one. Now I'm going to do a thing also. I'm going to delete the light. This is causing chaos. Delete the light. Okay, we're in a black scene with black in it and a cat crying outside. Mega. So now, okay, I'm going to teach two things. One is HDRI, what it is. And the other one, I'm going to show some vertex painting. So to begin, as you can see, this black is now floating in grey, and it's grey because there's no light in the scene and the background is grey. So now I'm going to go here into shading. Again, see this? Lies. Don't have to do this. Like that. Okay, now this is what the scene is actually going to be. Is. So it's very important, as I keep saying. All the time. Okay, so we're in shading now. I click on this object. By default, there's already one on there. If I wanted to, I could delete it. And up here, I create a new one. Same thing, just a shader node. And this is pretty much default across every single 3D platform. These aspects here with some add-ons. Okay, so as you can see, the scene is black, well, grey. The object is, there's nothing on it, so it's grey even though it's white. So first of all, because we've deleted the light, I just want to go through this thing of self-illumination. There's no light in the scene, and so I'm just going to quickly show. This is emissions, and this is emission strength. This is a new attribute. I did say Blender about 2 years ago. Before, you had to go in here, you had to put this up, put a color on it. As you can see, it's flat and grey, but there's also no light in the scene. So emission strength is 1, and that's what I was talking about before, the clamping, that in this process it doesn't know how to go beyond 100%. And that's why in Blender they invented this now, so I can go up into the 26,000% or whatever. But again, it still looks flat because we don't have any post-processing. So I'm going to go up into the render tab, click on bloom, and now the post effect is now on the lens of the camera. This isn't in the world. This is on the retina of the camera. I go to your emissions. I'll pop it up a bit. Right. So that's just an example of, again, self-lit. There's no light in the scene, and it's lighting itself. Okay, as you can see, the world now, there's nothing going on. So it's simple. So now I'm going to show you the HDRI. Okay, so we're in the object mode over here, which is the object, and maybe I'll turn this back down to just 1 for now. So it's, I'll turn this down all the way to, just to give us nothingness. Okay, so up here now, I want to go into the world shader. So object shader, world shader. The world shader is everything other than, the scene. And right now, here it is. Here I can just go click, black, and we're blackness and blackness. So nothingness after nothingness. You can't get simpler than that. Okay, so nothingness. So now I'm going to show you a HDRI, which would go into the world shader. But this, I'm not going to make here, I'm just going to append it from a previous scene I've made. So append is like import, except it works with other Blender files, the categories, you know, the contents. So I go append, and here I find my scenes, hit this one, and click on the Blender scene. Now in the Blender scene I've got objects, textures, everything in there. I'm going to go to world, and I'm going to take this world setting from my other scene to this one. And so now here it doesn't show up yet, but up here I gotta find it, and there it is. Okay, this is a previous made one, which is a bit overcomplicated, so I'm just gonna delete some stuff. This stuff, this thing. And now here we have a HDRI, which you can see here. HDRI. And so right now this light ray path thing is turning it off in the scene, so we're only receiving the lighting from the HDRI. So if I turn the lighting up, you can see we have illumination from the HDRI. It doesn't show much because it's just a white box, but that's what it is. I'm going to go back to the object a sec, and I'm going to turn up the metallic. Reflections all the way up, and now we can see this object down here in the box because this is HDRI lighting. And again, there's no lighting in the scene, there's no crazy light gray computations going on. This is all full frame rate, real time. That's the power of the HDRI. Okay, so go back to the world shader. I'm going to show you the camera path thing. So now if I pull this thing out, you have a HDRI. And so no matter how far I zoom in and out, because it's like an illusion, a far distance illusion. But again, we don't really need that, unless, you know, I put a sky in there or something. We have reflection of the sky. So I'm going to put this back in there, because we're dealing with black, black. Okay, so that's part one, HDRIs. Whee! Part two of UKTV Blender lesson number 2. Okay, so we have a cube. It's very shiny. Doesn't need to be. So go to the object shader, and now I'm gonna explain 2 different ways of doing this. Okay, so the first one is the standard one of Shift A, search, image, texture. Put that there, and I pull that in there, and then I go and look for just a nice little texture somewhere. This maybe. Colorful. Oh, come on. Give me something. Oh, yeah, you go. Ignore those photos. Okay, so now the texture map is unfold on the box. And as you can see, each face is kind of snapped from the texture. So now I'm going to just quickly explain UV. Go to UV edit. Now these are the UVs. Again, check the little thingy up here. Boom. Okay. What it is what I see. What I see is what it is. Which is important. Okay, so there's a box. Here's the UVs. Now watch this now. The UVs are like when you unwrap a present at Christmas and you unfold the paper. And this is how UVs distribute the texture map. So now if I move these around, you can see that I'm moving the UVs on the object. And that's pretty much what UVs are. It's like skinning an object, unfolding it so texture maps can be put on it. So that's a texture map. So now I'm going to go back, and I'm going to unplug this texture map. So now I'm going to explore vertex painting. Okay, so first Shift A, create a vertex paint. No, it's an Envision Blender. Just change the name. Okay, attribute. Attribute. Does the same thing. Okay. So now this is my attribute. This is my mesh. So now over into the mesh. So again, this is a very different type of light of coloring an object because it's not based on UVs or textures. It's based on the polygons of the mesh. So here I'm going to add a, where to go? Okay, so attribute, come over here in the mesh options, plus sign. Create a thing, give it a name, just call it C. Okay, so I come over here now. Now in my attribute, it is assigned to C. Looks good, okay, but nothing shows up. Okay, so now I'm going to pull that into the base color. And now it goes black. Okay, so up here then, I go to vertex paint, and now I change the color to whatever color I like, and now that's in there, that's in there, I'm on the right object, and in theory, boom, okay, so now as you can see, when I click on the vertex, it paints the vertex, and then it tries to blend between the vertexes, because there's only one vertex there, This is different from a texture map, because a texture map you could have trillion polygon pixels in here, but this is vertex painting. So this is almost like there is no texture map. That's why this runs really fast. It's all calculated, you know. You can change up the colors. And then down here, as we were talking before, the emissions, I could pull this now into the emission channel and put the emissions up. And now my pink is all glowy. All my blue is all glowy. All blues don't get so glowy. I think you get the idea, right? So this is vertex painting. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy, very intuitive. And because again, the pixels, the vertexes, there's only one there, one there, one there, one there. So so they're trying to blend them. So if you wanted more vertices, if you go to Object, Edit, Edges, Subdivide, Edges, Subdivide, Edges, Subdivide, Edges, Subdivide. Okay, again, because these are vertices, and we're doing vertex painting. Before I could only paint, 8 different corners, but now, if I go back to vertex painting, I can now paint between. I got a lot more resolution, so it's almost like the polygons become the pixels. This is the beauty of vertex painting. And you could even put multiple of these in here, assign them to the vertices, and have all different kind of qualities. I could plug another one of these into the metallic. I mean, I'll show you that you can do that. Doesn't make much difference, but just the idea of how we're not using texture maps, we're using vertex painting. Okay, well, that's it. Thank you. Hope this helps. Bye bye.